Today, we are re-diving into one of the world's most complex and emotional conflicts, the story of Israel and Palestine. You've seen headlines, you've heard sound bites, but what about the untold story? The roots, the culture, and the lives caught in between. The land we now call Israel and Palestine has been at the center of human history for thousands of years. Jews, Christians, and Muslims all trace sacred ties here. Ancient kingdoms rose and fell. Hebrews, Romans, Ottomans, and the British all ruled this land. For centuries, Muslims, Christians, and Jews lived side by side, not without tension, but often sharing markets, traditions, and even music. That coexistence is a part of the untold story. Chapter 2: Modern Conflict Begins. In the late 1800s, Jewish migration to Palestine increased. Inspired by Zionism, the dream of a homeland after centuries of persecution. At the same time, Palestinian Arabs, who had lived there for generations, feared losing their land. Under British rule, tensions grew. After World War II and the Holocaust, the world supported the creation of Israel in 1948. For Israelis, it was independence. For Palestinians, it was Nakba, the catastrophe, when over 700,000 people were displaced. Two perspectives, one land, and the seeds of today's struggle. Chapter 3: Wars, Borders, and Occupation. Several wars followed in 1948, 1967, and 1973. Israel expanded its territory, while Palestinians were left in Gaza, the West Bank, and refugee camps across the Middle East. Israel calls it defense, as Palestinians call it occupation. Each side tells a different story. Yet what's rarely told is the human story. Families separated by walls, children growing up in fear, and generations dreaming of peace that feels just out of reach. 2014 Gaza War Operation Protective Edge. Timeline: July 8th, August 26, 2014, 50 days. Cause began after weeks of escalating violence following the kidnapping and killing of 3 Israeli teenagers in the West Bank. Retaliatory violence and increased rocket fire from Gaza into Israel. Events: Israel launched airstrikes against Hamas targets in Gaza. Hamas and other militant groups fired thousands of rockets into Israel. Israel carried out a ground invasion with the stated goal of destroying Hamas's network of cross-border tunnels. Casualties: approximately 2,200 Palestinians killed, most in Gaza. UN reports said many were civilians. 73 Israelis killed 67 soldiers, 6 civilians. Outcome: a ceasefire brokered by Egypt ended the fighting. Gaza suffered massive destruction, worsening the humanitarian crisis. October 7, 2023 Hamas attack event. On October 7, 2023, Hamas launched an unprecedented surprise attack on Israel, marking the bloodiest single day in the conflict's history. Details: militants infiltrated southern Israel from Gaza by land, air, and sea. Over 3,000 rockets were fired into Israel. Hamas fighters attacked towns, military bases, and a music festival, killing civilians and soldiers. Casualties: approximately 1,200 Israelis were killed, thousands wounded, and more than 200 people were taken hostage into Gaza. Israel's response? Declared a state of war, launched a massive bombing campaign, and later ground operations in Gaza. Thousands of Palestinians have since been killed in Israeli airstrikes and fighting, leading to international debates over humanitarian law and proportionality. Significance: this attack shattered assumptions about Israel's security and intelligence. It triggered the 2023 to 2024 Israel-Hamas war, which is ongoing. The conflict has drawn in regional players like Hezbollah, and tensions remain high across the Middle East. Chapter 4: The Untold Story. Beyond the politics, there are stories of ordinary people. Palestinian farmers, still harvesting olives on ancestral land. Israeli musicians blending Middle Eastern and European sounds. Mothers on both sides mourning their children. Activists, Jewish and Arab together, marching for peace. These are voices often drowned out by the noise of rockets and airstrikes. The untold story is that despite decades of conflict, there is also resilience, culture, and a shared humanity. Chapter 5. What lies ahead? Will there ever be peace? Some say the two-state solution, Israel and Palestine living side by side, is the answer. Others say it's too late, too divided. But one truth remains. Both peoples are deeply tied to the same land. Both in their own way, dream of a future without fear, without checkpoints, without walls. Conclusion. The Israel-Palestine conflict is more than a battle over land. It's a story of identity, memory, and survival. By listening to the untold stories, maybe we take the first step toward understanding, and maybe one day, toward peace. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into untold histories.